How's it going, guys? My name is Zach with the movie Castle, and today we're going to be talking about my newest Dollar Tree movie haul. This is part number 21, and that's crazy, we're on 21 already. If you guys saw part 20, you may remember that I mentioned we were very close to passing 200 subscribers. Well, now it's part 21, and we have officially passed 200 subscribers. So I'd like to give everyone a big thank you. Thank you for that, and thank you for making this the most successful series I do. So to everyone who's watched and liked and subscribed, thank you for helping this series out. Now, if you remember part 20, I said this last time, Dollar Tree got more DVDs in, but a lot of them were stuff that I had seen them get in before, so you kind of repeat movies came in, so if some of these look older, that's probably why. Also, the new shipment seemed to be primarily DVDs with very few Blu-rays, so sadly, no Blu-rays this time as well. I'm sure they'll get more in soon. But that being said, I have 10 movies to take a look at, and kind of an interesting thing for this channel, because I had seen a lot of the DVDs before, I had picked over most of the horror movies already. So this haul we have 3 horror movies, but we actually have more sci-fi. We have 4 sci-fi movies, and then the last 3, 1 western and 2 comedy. So a bit more variety than you normally get, because I'm a horror movie geek. It's usually all horror movies. So let's go ahead and do the horror movies first. The first 3 here. This is one that I hadn't seen before. Ghost of New Orleans with Josh Lucas, Terrence Howard, and Lake Bell in it. So this movie, if we flip it over to the back, is about a washed-up New Orleans cop. It's one of his last days on the force, and he's given one last pointless assignment. There's a murder suspect, but they don't think it's him, but they're still having him stay in an abandoned house across the street to keep a stakeout on this guy. And in that abandoned house, there is a ghost. So that's a pretty cool setup, a ghost haunting your stakeout. It's also set in New Orleans, so that is pretty cool. And one thing, when I was reading through the description on the back, it features Deborah Ann Woll in it as well, who was on Daredevil, if you remember Netflix's Daredevil. So that's pretty cool. And there's a shiny disc with the reflection and whatnot. But anyway, that's our first movie. Moving on to the next one, we got Scare BNB. Your Worst Nightmare is streaming live. So this movie is about this girl. She gets an Airbnb and then goes missing. Her brother comes looking for her, only to find that this place she rented is rigged up with cameras and stuff, and it's connected to a very bad group of people, and he has to go and get his revenge. So I thought that's a pretty cool concept. We actually have seen quite a few evil Airbnb movies. If you guys remember, on this channel I did a review for The Rental, kind of like that one. Anyway, go ahead and open it up. There's the disc, and you see the digital copy is on the DVD. It's kind of funny how digital copies always seem to have a unique way of going about putting it on there. It's usually a little paper by the disc. Alright, last horror movie before we jump into the sci-fi, The Shadow Man. The nightmare begins when you awake. I kind of thought this was funny. If you look at The Shadow Man, a pretty generic name, and then this guy that's chasing her kind of looks like Slender Man, but with a hat. So I think they're probably chasing that trend, but who knows, maybe. Based on the infamous Shadow Man urban legends, but it's a newlywed photographer, and she has a dream about the Shadow Man, and the Shadow Man starts to follow her out of her dream and into real life. And she needs help from a mysterious man to stop him. So, a cool ghost movie. See what it winds up being like, but I think it'll probably be cool. I just think the name's a little generic. The poster's a little generic. Just woods with two figures on it. But hey, see what it winds up being. It might be low budget. It might be where not much happens, or it might be a fun, wacky movie. I don't know, but hey, a ghost movie, something in your dreams, that should be cool. Up next, we have two sci-fi movies from E1 here. E1's one of those companies that tends to show up in the Dollar Tree a lot, but their first one they have for us is the Dawn Seeker, a new breed of predator. So you can tell from that tagline that they're inspired by the Predator for this. The face does have the 4 teeth coming in, but it also has these other teeth, and the rest of the head is pretty different. I like that we see the monster on the cover, but I do love collecting low-budget sci-fi movies, and I like collecting horror movies inspired by Alien and Predator. There's quite a few of those, actually. But this one, it talks about how the year is 2248. The Earth's sun has dwindled and is no longer productive, which it would really take way longer than 230 years for that to happen. But I guess there'll be some reason in the movie. But anyway, they need to get a rare element called stardust from this distant planet to reignite our sun. But they crash and are stalked by a mysterious alien life, basically a predator. But looking forward to that. I've actually gotten a couple movies on these hauls previously that remind me of Alien or Predator. So maybe I should do a Predator-inspired low-budget movie binge. That could be fun. Up next, Rogue Warrior, Robot Fighter. That's a pretty fun name with four words, and it's almost like two different thoughts. Rogue Warrior, Robot Fighter. I wonder if there were other Rogue Warrior movies, or if that's just a title that sounds like a sequel, with a subtitle. But anyway, you get her on the back of a pretty cool action shot with her leaning her gun out, and you see the hand with the robot part. But anyway, it talks about it's this girl named Sienna, a rogue warrior who is fighting a robot army, and she has to go to the corners of the galaxy searching for a mythical weapon that can destroy all the AI so she can save the humans. So, sounds like an interesting story. An excuse for robot fight scenes. I hope this is fun and action-packed, but who's to say what it's going to turn out like. But hey, if it's anything like the cover makes it look, there's the flipped image from the back as the disc cover. If it's anything like the cover makes it look, it should be a pretty fun B-sci-fi. I just hope it really goes crazy and does fun action scenes. But yeah, I really do like the more over-the-top sci-fi. It's pretty fun. Anyway, moving along to what's probably a more serious sci-fi, and one with a slipcase. This is Chimera Strain. Can humanity survive? Flip it to the back, and it talks about how there's this guy. His kids are about to die, so he decides to go ahead and freeze them. And then a shadowy group starts figuring out what he's doing and tries to, I guess, take his research or something. But after he freezes his kids, he's stalked by this mysterious group. But anyway, take it out of its slipcase. Under art is the same, and the disc art is also that same image of the hoodied guy and the lightning going through that guy in the background, or we'll figure. I don't know if it's a guy or girl or what. But yeah, I've seen this one around for a long time. finally picked it up. I figured, hey, sci-fi, probably pretty fun. And yeah, I really don't know what's going on with that. Up next, technically sci-fi, more of a superhero movie, we have Invisible Sue with this package that is clearly reminiscent of Watchmen, with this text going down the side, the yellow on the black there. But anyway, Invisible Sue, she's the toughest girl you'll never see. And if you look on the back, it's a teenage girl whose mother is wrapped up in her work. One day she goes into her mother's lab to surprise her for her birthday and accidentally gets chemicals on her that gives her the power of invisibility, and then her mother's kidnapped and her and her friends have to save her. So, sounds pretty fun. I actually do collect low-budget superhero movies, kind of an odd thing since superhero movies are so typically high-budget. Whenever you see a low-budget one, you're like, I wonder how they're going to do this, how they're going to, figure that out. But one thing I didn't know about this, if we open it up, there's the disc, same as the front, but what I didn't expect to see was this ad for a bunch of kids' movies. So this appears to actually be a kids' movie, which I didn't know when I picked it up. Kind of weird they mimicked Watchmen, but hey, kids superhero. Okay, I'll go ahead and see what it's about. I wish they had made it more clear it was a kids' movie going in, but hey, maybe it'll still be fun. Anyway, up next, the Western I talked about, The Seventh Day, more than likely a reference to Genesis, on the seventh day God rested, but this is what appears to be a Spanish Western, and I had first thought, because of this really cool poster where it's like these different layers, I thought this was going to be a really old Western, but I flip it to the back, and this is actually from 2004, so it's actually pretty modern. So I don't know if I have older elements or what, but it says it's based on a true story about these two households that get mad at each other, and apparently there's a wedding and it goes horribly, or a marriage that goes horribly, and it leads to a bunch of people fighting. So have to see what this is about, although yeah, it does look like more of a modern movie, and I was hoping it was going to be a classic Western. But we'll see where this one takes us. It's a movie I really don't know too much about what it's going to be about. I do love, there's a original image for the disc art. I do love that disc art poster style. And also, you see the little Olive Films. Olive Films put out a few good movies. They do more obscure stuff, so hey, glad to pick it up for Olive Films too. So that's your Western. Lastly, we have two comedies. National Lampoon Live, the international show. Again, one that I had seen around for forever at the Dollar Tree. Finally went ahead and grabbed it. But National Lampoon, I knew them for the vacation movies. The vacation movies were really fun, but other than that, I don't know too much about the magazine, and I don't know too much about their other movies. But this was there for only $1, and it appears to be stand-up, the international show. So I always do like some good stand-up comedy, and to get to learn a little bit more about National Lampoon, maybe I'll check out a few of their other movies as well. But yeah, glad to pick up some stand-up comedy. I think this is only like an hour long, but a lot of stand-up specials are pretty short. But I get something to add to my stand-up comedy collection, which I do like stand-up comedy, but I actually don't have too many stand-up comedy DVDs, so glad to start changing that. So National Lampoon Live, the international show. And up last, another one that I had seen around for a bit and finally picked up is Conan O'Brien, Can't Stop. Conan O'Brien is probably my favorite of the late night talk show host. Always seemed to be the funniest and a little more absurd than the other ones. He's the one I always like the best. But it talks about how he was kicked off The Tonight Show. If you don't remember, there's this whole thing where Leno left and then he came back, but Conan was hosting his show and he tried to do a different show and that didn't work and they gave it back to Leno. But there was a thing where he wasn't allowed. You see, this is about, he did a stand-up tour called the Legally Prohibited from Being Funny on Television Tour, and that's because after he was kicked out, there was a thing in his contract where he couldn't host a TV show for 6 months. So instead of being really bored, he decided to go and do this stand-up, and this is a documentary about the stand-up, and it says the biggest laughs and most intriguing revelations are provided offstage. So this is a documentary, and you get to see parts of the show, I guess, but also parts from offstage. And that was also one thing I really like about Conan's show is when he goes off script, especially when he travels and he meets all these random people, and you get to see him just being funny in person rather than sitting down at a desk, with people going over rehearsed stories. I really like to see just, Conan out in the wild, so this should be pretty funny, and I'm glad I finally picked it up. I need more comedy. I have a ton of horror. I need more comedy in my collection. So open it up really quick. There's the disc is an original image of him there on stage. So that's the final DVD we have today. Conan O'Brien Can't Stop. Finally got to pick this one up. So hey, this haul number 21, a little bit more different types of genres than I usually do. We got 3 horror, we got 4 sci-fi, a western, and 2 comedies. That's pretty cool. Keep it different. Pretty cool, but hopefully Dollar Tree will get some more new, unique movies in pretty soon, and hopefully they'll get some Blu-rays as well. I'm really eager for them to restock. But anyway, this was fun. To everyone who's watched so far, thank you for watching. To everyone who's liked and subscribed, thank you. You are really helping this channel out. I'll put a relevant playlist at the end of this video. This should be my hauls playlist. If you want to see all the Dollar Tree hauls from the beginning, you can find that there, as well as a few hauls from other places like Half Price Books, Walmart Black Friday, Big Lots, a few cool things like that. Anyway, have a good day. I'll see you guys again very, very soon. Hauls playlist on the bottom.